The ban on drilling in federal waters, it's a little bit more complicated. And so I think, we're expected to hear him say more and more that he's going to undo this as soon as he can, but it's not as simple as just another executive order. So he's going to have to work with Congress a little bit to see these actions taken. And so, he tried to do that back during his first administration from some protections that were set by Obama. But, in 2019, a judge ruled that he couldn't do it.
Welcome to Reporter's Notebook, where we talk to the Washington Examiner's top journalists about the stories breaking on their beats. I'm Jim Antle, and I'm joined today by energy and environment reporter Callie Pattison. Callie, President Biden is on his way out, but he's made some policy moves in his final weeks in office that have sort of gotten some people riled up. What has he done?
So there's been a wide range of actions that he's taken. I mean, I think one thing that's really riled the Republicans up is a lot of approved funding that they've pushed out for a lot of green projects through the Loans Program Office, and some other ones that he's been really doing is finalizing a lot of these tax credits. And so the hydrogen tax credit not too long ago, as well as the clean energy credit expanding for not just solar and wind this week. And I think the other really big one that got people talking also this week was the ban on offshore oil and gas drilling in some federal waters. I think it's about 625 million acres off the entire coast of the East Coast, and then bits of California, Washington, Oregon, and parts of Alaska as well, and some of the eastern Gulf of Mexico.
So on some of these things, President-elect Trump, who's going to be replacing Biden shortly, has been unhappy, and he feels he's being hamstrung by the outgoing Biden administration. Talk a little bit about that dynamic.
Yeah, I mean, I think Trump, he sees these moves and he says, I'm going to undo it day one. And with some of them, there is that possibility. I think when it comes to a lot of these EPA rules, such as the emission standards for vehicles or power plant rules, or even kind of stopping any unspent funding from going out, he can do a lot of that on day one. But when it comes to actions like the ban on drilling in federal waters, it's a little bit more complicated. And so I think, we're expected to hear him say more and more that he's going to undo this as soon as he can, but it's not as simple as just another executive order. So he's going to have to work with Congress a little bit to see these actions taken. And so, he tried to do that back during his first administration from some protections that were set by Obama. But, in 2019, a judge ruled that he couldn't do it, and actually Congress has the ability to do that. And so we're going to see that play out in the next couple of weeks.
What are some of the things that you expect when Trump finally does replace Biden?
I think automatically we're going to see a big executive order on wind. Wind, he detests wind. It's one of those things he doesn't stop talking about. And so the exact orders...
He's anti-wind.
Exactly.
He hates wind.
So it's unclear exactly what the order is going to look like, but he gave us a hint this week on saying that there's going to be no building of new windmills, new turbines. Whether that extends to ongoing construction or not, that's to be seen. Another thing we can expect is him doing away with the so-called EV mandate and pulling back on other EPA rules like the coal plant emissions rule and all of those. And so I'm curious to see how he's going to handle this offshore drilling ban. He could pursue it through the courts again and likely end up with the same result, or he could really work with Congress to see if they can get it through reconciliation.
We'll just have to see how much he's tilting at windmills, right?
We will.
Thank you, Callie.
Of course.
You can read Callie and the rest of our policy team's coverage and subscribe to our daily On Energy newsletter at washingtonexaminer.com.